Okay. Hello everybody and welcome back once again to F1 Manager 22 in the 23 season, and F1 Manager 23 is coming out soon. So I thought I'd better finish this one. Not that I'm going to go straight into F1 23, but you know, seems like a good time to finish this before the new one comes out, you know what I mean? And I'm going on holiday on Friday, and so I want to clear the decks, if you will. Right, okay, so this is a Sunday. I'm streaming on a Sunday morning to get this up for you guys on Sunday so that you can watch this and then Contraband Police stream later. The reason why I'm getting this up today is in case I finish Contraband Police, it means I can stream this tomorrow, being Monday, because I've got nothing on Monday. So, you know, and I'm going to do maybe 3 or 4 of these and upload them, schedule them to go up 2 a week whilst I'm off on my holidays, which will also help. So we'll still have to finish this by the time I come back, but there should only be maybe 4 or 5 races to go. So that's the first thing to note. The second thing to note is if you think I'm talking a little bit different, it's because I've got tonsillitis again for the 3rd time since last June. So in the space of a year, it's the 3rd time I've had it. Might have to have them out. Clearly I've got a weakness at the back of my throat. Looked in my throat yesterday, it was horrendous. They were swollen, I'm struggling to swallow food again, all the white spots all over them. Thankfully, now any doctors out there, or pharmacists, or anybody with a modicum of sense maybe, would say, oh, that's not a good idea. But I had a packet of penicillin tablets left over from when I had this in November, and it was a full packet of 28. So I'm just taking them. 1 a day, 4 times a day, for 7 days. It saves me having to go to the doctors and queue in a day centre for 5 hours just to be told, hey, here's the tablets, I've already got them, left over from November, I'll just take them. That's what they prescribed me last time. Surely it can't be a bad thing to do that, can it? Taking medication, technically unprescribed, because I haven't prescribed it for this bout of it, but they're gonna give me the same stuff again, so I thought I'd cut the middleman out and just do it myself, using the leftovers from the last time I had it. So that's what I'm doing, self-medicating, paracetamol, lots of liquid, and today, it started yesterday, today it's much better. Still can't talk properly, still can't swallow food properly, but the pain is much diminished, and the spots are not as prevalent, so I'm thinking we're already on a good trajectory. Maybe I caught it as early as possible, unlike the last couple of times where I've left it quite late. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. So that's my health situation and why I might be talking a bit funny, and why I might have to not commentate quite so feverishly during this session. Second of all, I've got an hour and a half because I've got something to do, an hour and a half's time, so we really must dash. So qualifying went well. Story of qualifying. Hamilton qualified in pole, Verstappen second, Lando third, but he got a penalty from practice, 3 grid penalty, so he's starting in 5th, because somebody else got a penalty as well, so he's just gone down 3 positions instead of, it's gone down 3 positions, yeah, 3 positions, 2nd to 5th, that makes sense, forget what I'm saying. Yeah, he's gone down from 3rd, no, he was 3rd to 5th. It would have been 3rd to 6th, wouldn't it? Yes, so somebody else has got a penalty. So he's only gone down 2 positions rather than the 3 that he should have done. Hey, it's Sunday morning. Okay, let me off. It's just not me sprightly best just yet. And to say that I've got tonsillitis and I'm struggling with speech, and I'm going to be sat here for the next hour and a half, talking constantly, have I got a bottle of juice or some water by the side of me? No. Should I maybe pause the session and go and get some? Yes, you're probably crying out. You would be crying out if you were in live. You'd be saying, get a drink, you should be full. Soldier on. Yeah. He got a penalty, he went down to 5th. I might have to do in all seriousness. So that was a bit of a bummer. So he qualified on pole. He qualified in 3rd. Not bad going. Don't forget, we had a major upgrade at the end of the last session. Our massive underfloor upgrade came through. And I said, this is going to put us, out of touch from the other guys. So I was like, the 1st and 3rd, it's not bad. We got a pole, of course. 3rd, not bad as well. Until I realised we were qualifying using the practice engine, the practice gearbox, which on both cars is less than 25%, and the practice ERS. I was like, oh, we qualified first and third with really worn engines and stuff. So for the race, I've put the race parts in, and what should have been the qualifying parts. So we qualified first and third with knackered parts. So yes, that doesn't bode well for the opposition in the race, certainly, because now we've put the proper stuff in. Anyway, so that was the story of qualifying. So what about the story for the race then? Well, you'll notice that we are doing a soft onto medium strategy, and you'll think, well, that's not going to get you to the end of the race without tyre saving, and you'll be completely correct in that assessment. What you're not accounting for, of course, is the fact that we're getting rain. So the actual optimum strategy was medium onto hard. But my thinking is we want to get ourselves onto the best strategy to get us to this point in the race as quick as possible. And that is soft onto medium. Not medium onto hard, not hard onto medium, not even trying a long hard stint and just doing the one stop and switching straight to inters, which is also a possibility. Because you have to be very, very careful with these tyres. So we're going for, I think, the best strategy, especially for a car like ours, which is pretty quick, which is to put them on the softest tyre to get the launch off the line, switch out to a set of fresh mediums so that we can push, and then when the rain looks like it's coming, at about like 50, we stick on the inters, and we just hopefully will have a nice big gap, and we can bring it home comfortably, safely for a 1-2. That's the plan. Will it happen? Oh, we're going to find out very shortly as we dive into the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring. Whew. And it's warm outside as well. Warm.
As we look at the lineup on the grid. And here, the crowd are ready. The cars are ready.
Okay, we've got the lights on here. Lewis Hamilton, pole position. Max Verstappen second, a Ferrari in third. I don't know who it is. I don't care. And it's off. We're off and racing. We're going to ride on board with Lando Norris here because Lewis should get away and take first position and cruise off into the distance. But this is where the action is. It's Lando Norris. Outside of him, we've got Alonso. 3 cars now going in a line up the hill into the next corner. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Or is it? Because Lando's going right up the middle of them. Oh, we've got jockeying for position. Oh, that looked dangerous. We'll have to watch that on the replay to get the off-board camera. But look at this. Lando Norris slingshot down this straight. He's taken 3 cars in 2 corners and he's up to P2. Let's get a replay of that.
Now just take a look at the McLaren.
Let's take a look at it. Up the inside there. Look at that. Up the inside. No fear at all. Powers it down, and in the meantime gets past Max Verstappen as well for good measure. 3 cars, 2 corners. You're damn right. You're damn right. There we go. Look at that. And we can turn it down literally right now because we are out of there, folks. We are out of there. We've got Verstappen battling with Sainz. Once again, Leclerc, who has had an absolutely shocking season, the world champion at every turn, at every race, apart from Miami, he's had some kind of an issue. Whether it's his own issue, just can't get it switched on, whether it's a car issue, a penalty issue. He's probably taken a serious engine penalty here. To be this far down the grid, it's got to be an engine penalty type situation. So let's have a look at the order as we are on lap 2. We've got Hamilton, first position, started on pole, got off the line well, and is already 1.3 seconds ahead of his own teammate, Lando Norris, who started 5th, up the middle of 2 cars into the second corner, powered on past Max, 3 cars in quick succession up to P2. There's no stopping this man, and he's actually gaining on his teammate. Could be a bit of a ding-dong battle up ahead. Verstappen in third, he started second, so he's lost one position. Sainz is in fourth, started third, I believe, so he's lost one position. Alonso started fourth, down to fifth, lost the one position. All, of course, losing out to Norris. We've got the Mercedes of George Russell, as DRS is now enabled, which will definitely help Norris. He's up P6. Not bad going for the Mercedes here. Perez in P7, he'll be disappointed with that in the Red Bull. And in P8 we've got Daniel Ricciardo. Albon, lead AlphaTauri, is in 9th. And in 10th we've got Ocon in the second Alpine. It's got to be disappointed with that when his teammate is up in P5. Got to be. Anyway, forget about that, because right now we are looking at this battle for first. And Norris has gained half a second on Hamilton, so he's definitely looking like the man on the move. It's worth noting that Hamilton is using a used set of soft tyres. He didn't have a brand new set available to him. Norris is using a brand new set. That could be something. Hang on, folks. Hang on. Hang on. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. What was that? Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Bear with me. I was trying to turn down my volume a little bit. The game sound might be a bit loud. But I pressed the wrong shortcut key. Anyway, I thought I'd give you a bit of CK2 intro, just in case you're missing it, because the series is finished now. The season has finished now. Not the series. We'll be back again for season 2. But anyway, just thought I'd give you a taster. No, I didn't. I cocked up. Right, okay, let me just check OBS. Actually, everything else is still looking good. Yeah, I think it should be fine. Should be fine. Got a complex now. Am I on? I'm on. Right, let's carry on. Let's carry on. So, look at this. Lando Norris has literally got himself right to the back of Lewis Hamilton. And look at the gap to Alonso, who's ahead of Verstappen. So these guys, DRS of course is open, will be battling with each other now in a little bit of a mini DRS train. No trains up front, not quick enough to keep pace. Let's have a look at the strategies though. So we are the only vehicle on soft tyres, few people on mediums, and most people on hards. Now these people on hards could be doing a hard onto medium strategy, which would be the best strat, or one of the best strategies to get you to the end of the race. Or they might be being smart-ish and trying to take these hard tyres right until the rain. The trouble is they're going to be nursing these tyres to get there. These tyres aren't the quickest anyway of the 3 sets. So, you know. Oh! Max Verstappen is in the gravel. Max Verstappen has gone off, locked up. Oh, that is a schoolboy error. Yeah, you don't say, Crofty. You don't say. So Max Verstappen, after beaching his car, is now down in P16. He has got a long afternoon ahead of him now, as he has to make his way back into the points. Getting anywhere near third position as to where he was is going to be a massive challenge at this point. A massive challenge. We'll have to keep an eye on how that goes for him. So now we get a few people moving up a position, and look at that. George Russell is harassing the Red Bull of Perez. Does it look to be as if Perez is holding everybody up here? And it's not as if he's on the wrong tyre. I mean, they're all on hard tyres too, as Russell going round the outside of turn 2. Or maybe that's turn 3, because there is a little slight kink on the first straight after the pit line, and I can't remember if that's classed as a turn, as turn 2. Very slight kinky turn. But anyway. Clearly haven't done my due diligence with the track layout. Anyway, It is what it is. But Russell has got ahead of Perez. Will he pull away though, or is this just a byproduct of the DRS situation? It seemed to me as if Perez was holding people up, so I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look if Perez gets his way back past down this pit straight with DRS wide open. You can see Sainz and Alonso having a bit of a ding-dong battle up ahead too. But yeah, look at that. Perez not getting it done there. Somebody's locked up. Who is it this time? It's Hamilton! Holy cow, what's happening here?
I think there's been a lockup.
Was it Hamilton or was it Bottas?
Here's the replay.
No, it's not Hamilton.
Watch this.
Hamilton's just been passed by his teammate.
And that could be costly.
Okay, so Bottas just went off. Hamilton hasn't locked up, folks. Fear not. He's just been passed by Norris. Courtesy, I'm sure, of DRS. So a switcheroo for the lead as Lando Norris, looking particularly quick today, does have a slight tyre advantage, of course, but nonetheless, you've got to use it. You've got to utilise it. You've got to take, push your advantage, and that's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. Well done, sir. Well done indeed. As we've got Alonso and Sainz still going at it. As we are continually lapping about a second of a lap quicker than anybody else on these tyres right now. 7, 8 seconds, a second a lap quicker than anybody else. It's quite crazy, really. That underfloor working well, obviously. We are on a slightly quicker tyre, but they're only worth about 0.2. The tyres difference from, say, soft to medium, I think we're worth about 0.2 of a second per lap. Now, Alonso is on medium tyres, so you've got to say that we're then therefore pulling about 7 to 8 tenths of a second per lap quicker than him, because the tyres are only worth about 2 or 3 tenths tops. So yeah, absolutely streaking away here are the McLaren boys, and instead we're left watching this situation here, the situation down here, as Ricciardo has got past Perez. What is happening to Perez today? Maybe he's using some really damaged car parts. Really worn stuff. Sector 2, we've got an incident. Who is it? Nothing on the timing screens is jumping out at us.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
Oh, it's Lance Stroll. Sorry, Lancey, old boy. It's not worth a replay of that. It's not worth a replay. Watching the car in 20th have a lock-up. Right, here we go. So we've still got a bit of a battle going on here, of which Vettel is part of it. Just about. We've got Gasly, Ocon, clinging to the back of this 5-car train. Currently being led by Russell. Perez pulling out wide. Maybe going to try and make a move on Daniel Ricciardo. He's too far away to make this stick. Alonso and Sainz side by side here. That's... Oops, a daisy. I pressed the wrong button. Supposed to go into this view. This is a very close affair. Don't forget, Carlos Sainz is on hard tyres compared to Alonso's mediums. So as we get further into this stint, Sainz will start to get a little bit quicker as the degradation rates affect the tyres differently, of course. But as things currently stand, they are going at it, as are two teammates up in front. Now, the McLaren team will be having flashbacks to last time we came here. We were 1 and 2, which wasn't quite so commonplace last season, don't forget. So we were really pleased to be in that position. And Daniel Ricciardo drove into the back of Norris. Remember? Remember that? So, yeah. Not fond memories, and hopefully won't be happening again here today, because we really shouldn't be taking each other off when we are a second of a lap quicker than our opposition right now. Fastest lap for Hamilton, who is back in first position, but for how long? A 107.7. Let's have a look at the other cars around. What kind of times are they doing? 108.8 is Norris's time, 108.9 for Alonso. As Norris now goes round the outside of Hamilton. He will get another dose of DRS, will he, down this straight? Yes, he will. And that, no, Hamilton gets it. I do apologise. So it's not a double DRS zone, that one. It's just two quite short succession, but two separate detections. And Hamilton manages to keep himself out in the lead. As these two go side by side, Sainz swooping round the outside of the two-time champion here, Fernando Alonso, the elder statesman of the grid, still looking pretty racy, pretty quick, still hungry for success. And then we've got this little train situation still going on, although it looks like Ocon is beginning to drop a smidgen off it. Still within the DRS range, but just a little bit further afield there. Okay. Let's have a look at Max Verstappen. Here he is, making his way through the field. He's up to P13 right now. As sparks fly. We'll ride on board for a couple of laps with old Maxi here. See if he can make his way through the field. Oof! I thought I was going to... Ooh! Whoa! Thought we were going to have a front wing removal type situation going on there, but no, he managed to just about bring it round the corner in one piece. But he has lost time due to that manoeuvre. And getting past these three cars will be problematic, because the cars ahead of him will have DRS in addition to him as well, so he's going to have to really earn his keep here today. Coming round into the final sector. Sweeping left. A nice little sweeping right. And then the two very fast final corners here. Round the first. Round the second. Foot down and across the line. Powering down up the hill into the first corner. Will he get past Mick Schumacher? It doesn't look like it. In fact, Mick Schumacher looks like he's pulling away and then going defensive. Another chance. DRS up the hill now. No. No. It's going to be tough. And then turn sharp right. Another DRS zone down this straight. So there's 3 DRS zones here, which means that it does make this race prone to kind of DRS train type situation, which is the nature of the beast. But yeah, he's going to struggle to get past, but it's his own doing, isn't it? It's his own doing. He went off, locked up, and he's put himself down in this little quagmire. So there you go. Perez has got past Daniel Ricciardo. Now it's going to be, because of the fact that there is 3 DRS zones on this track, it is going to be so difficult to get out of DRS range of any cars following you. That goes for our cars too. They're not going to be able to escape each other's clutches here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this situation pans out. But we are on lap 14 out of 71. We've got some settled situations. We're out in front, streaking ahead. Alonso and Sainz battling for P3, sorry, the last podium spot. Perez together with another 4 cars, really having a bit of a set 2, looking at P5 at the moment, and that's probably as good as we need to see, because we've got Vettel and then a few more cars, including Verstappen, down in the next little bunch. So 2 followed by 2, 5 followed by 4, little groups driving round happily and merrily, which means I'm going to put up to 2 speed, to be honest with you, and I'm going to take a bit of a rest from my throat, so I should probably go and get some water, but in fact I will. I'm going to pause it a second, I'll be back. I can probably put it on 1 speed, but I better not, just in case something happens. Lovely. So today I have water, not juice, because I couldn't be bothered to go downstairs clearly. But water's better for you anyway. Right, let's carry on, shall we? Okay, so Norris and Hamilton battling, going at it, looking for race victory. I mean, ultimately, Norris is going to have to get quite a few race victories to get back into this title race, because Hamilton is running away with it at the moment. So Norris, the least he needs to do is win this race. I mean, when Hamilton if Hamilton finishes second behind him, it's really not going to be enough. But there's still plenty of races left. All you can do individually is make sure you win. What your opponents do after that, well, it's kind of out of your control, unless you want to be really nasty and give them a nudge off the track. What's been known to have happened in the past. Let's have a look here. It's getting warm. Ooh. Okay. Oof. My previous screen is very laggy, very jittery, so I'm hoping the stream isn't in the same manner. Constant interruptions. Anyway, where are we? So we're still in the same position, with Sainz and Alonso battling. Perez has managed to get back ahead of both of the Mercedes now, but yeah. It's a good old DRS train type situation, so they will swap positions continually. At one point it looked like Verstappen had got ahead of Mick Schumacher, but clearly not. Tried, but to no avail. Over 26 degrees today. Whew. Scorchio. No. Not looking good, is it, for him? I mean, we'll follow him in 2-speed for a little while, just to see if he manages to get his way back past. I mean, this is probably the only action we're going to get all of this race. Verstappen making his way through the field, or not, as the case may be. As Norris and Hamilton continue to swap positions, as I'm sure will Alonso and Sainz. Perez, is that gap coming down to Sainz? I don't believe so, as he battles with the two Mercedes. Ocon still remains at the rear of that little list. And hang on, Verstappen has got past here. Verstappen has got past. Has got past Mick Schumacher and past Gasly.
Someone's run wide.
Russell has run wide. That's put him to the back of the train of that car. In fact, he's now 4.8 seconds behind Ocon now as he went off. Unfortunate for him. But now this should be easier for Max Verstappen because he's got a car ahead of him that won't get DRS. And look at that. He manages to make it stick and he's up into 10th position. And I'm sure he'll start to pull away from Vettel. Although not at the moment because that's the DRS zone. But round this section of the track, I'm sure the Red Bull will start to show its speed prowess, if you will, in comparison. Pulling a gap, but only 0.7 seconds. Almost got to the second mark, but Vettel will get the DRS in this section, and then down this straight too, so it will just ensure that Vettel can just about cling on to the back of Max Verstappen, and maybe even have the audacity to try to overtake him around the outside of that corner even. Ooh. Oh dear. So this, as you can see, the Red Bull clearly faster, but we get to this part of the track and the DRS kicks in as Hamilton.
Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one. Oh no! And there's the crash. Mark my words, there'll be questions asked about that.
I don't believe it. It's happened again. Both of them. Oh my God, it's happened again.
And it may have really hurt their overall chances.
I do not believe it. Right. It looks like Norris is fine. Norris is fine. Hamilton's car's damaged. He's going to have to, and he's got a penalty. He's going to have to come in now and put on a set of hard tyres. He's going to have to do. He's going to have to do. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. What did I say? Last season, we had a problem such as this. Let's hope it doesn't happen this season. I had to say it, didn't I? I had to open my mouth and even mention last season's calamity. Just to put the curse on it. I had to do it, didn't I? I mean, even though that we... okay, I was going to say we can't be 17 seconds ahead after that. We're still about 11 seconds ahead. So Hamilton is going to have to book his ideas up now. He can't go into medium, so we're going to stick him on a set of hards, which will take him to the rain. So he's not lost out too much, apart from the fact he's going to have a wing changed, which is going to be quite a long time. Should still be able to get out ahead of some of these guys, I hope. It's going to be a hard race for him now. At least it makes it exciting for him. Whereas Norris, thankfully, not damaged, now can go about his own business. And we're serving a time penalty as well. And a wing change. It's like the longest pit stop in history. So we don't have to worry about Norris now. We're going to have to now micromanage Hamilton. Hopefully get him back onto the podium, if not into second place. Will it be possible? We shall soon find out. We have got rain coming. I don't know what everybody else is doing in this race. It looks like these people on hards are taking it to the rain. I think they may well be taking it to the rain. I mean, clearly we're taking it to the rain now. We can afford to push. Oh, Mr. Hamilton. Mr. Hamilton made a mistake there. A rare mistake, I would like to suggest. But nonetheless, it was a mistake. And, yeah, it looks like the Red Bull Ring, not one of our favourite races, it seems. Cursed. A cursed circuit. To be honest with you, I could probably have put in a set of mediums on Hamilton and still got to the rain. I think we're probably about 2 or 3 laps short of our planned pit stop, so that might have been a slight mistake. Should probably have put mediums on here. But at least with the hard tyres, we can actually probably afford to push them. I want to push them when we come to start to overtake cars. It gives us a bit more of an advantage. and when we're trying to put a gap to them to pull out the DRS, because we should naturally have the speed and fresh tyres anyway, so we should naturally be catching here. Yeah, it's just if the cars ahead of us aren't stopping. I mean, these medium runners on 60%, they're definitely going to have to stop at least once before the rain, I think. So that's not a problem. Right, let's have a look. Norris, are we not in the pit strategy window yet? Oh yeah, just about, but we're still going strong. Still going strong. Got another couple of laps yet before we're actually on strategy. We are gaining with Russell quite quickly here. Let's have a look at the comparative times when we pass the start-finish line this time around. Russell 1 minute 9.1 last time. What does he get this time? Let's have a look. 1 minute 9.1. Hamilton 1 minute 8.3. 7 tenths quicker. Well, actually, that's about 8 tenths actually. 8 tenths quicker. Even better. So this should be like taking candy from a baby right now. And then we've got a gap to the Perez train. I mean, Verstappen is only 3 seconds behind us now. And there I was, thinking we're going to have a nice little 1-2 flying formation finish. Oh no, no. Not on my watch, says Hamilton. Not on my watch, pal. I'm going to give you some work to do. Magnussen locking up on turn 2. Where is Magnussen? P18. Happy days for him. Right, here we go. We still have fastest lap with Hamilton. 1.4 seconds is the gap now to Russell. We should get into DRS range this lap, in fact. Not up this particular straight, but I reckon by the next straight we'll get a natural slipstream down this straight. We've probably got decent drive off the corner with our fresher tyres. 1.2, it's coming down all the time. Alonso and Sainz still having a battle. Let's have a look at it. Down the outside, swoops round, gets ahead. The battle continues on. Sector 1, we have a problem. Because it's not Norris, that's the main thing. Okay, we are in the range for attack, attack, attack. We'll have to wait until we get to the start-finish straight, though. But it should be easily done with our fresher tyres, and ERS will be available, DRS will be available, and we have engine fuel to spare to reduce the lift and coast. So here we go. This is hopefully a done deal. And then we've got to, of course, pull away from Russell. Seems to have been a lock-up. Here we go. And there we go. Up into P7, 6 seconds behind Ocon. Alonso finally pitting from P2 or P3, wherever he ended up in this battle with Sainz. And we've got past somebody in the pits as well. So we go obviously down past George Russell on the track. We've also got Alonso in the pits. And Alonso will have to pit again, don't forget, because we've got rain coming. So we're actually ahead of Alonso on merit now. So that's good. So up into P7. Just have to try to pull away and get out of this DRS zone, which should be doable as we get down this particular section of the track where there's no DRS to work with for Russell. Right, let's get Lando in for his mediums.
And we're box this lap. Yeah, confirm. Happy to box at the end.
There we go, 7 tenths, 8 tenths. Just got to get more than a second ahead here, and it looks like we are going to make that stick. More than a second, more than a second, more than a second. Indeed it is. Back to neutral. Still keep pushing for a little bit though, with the tyres and with the fuel, just to make sure. And that should be goodbye as we pass Albon, who's in the pits. Ocon is next in our sights. That's a little bit of a DRS train ahead, so it's going to be a bit more difficult for us to get through that, but not impossible.
Increase in lift and coast just a little.
Not impossible. just tricky. I think second place is definitely still on here, and I'll give you an indication as to how fast our car really is if we can go off the track, take a 5-second time penalty, and a front wing change, and still finish second. That's not good news for the opposition, is it? Not at all. I mean, to be fair, this race is not a straightforward strategy because we're using our sort of soft, medium, soft, hard for Hamilton kind of strategy, which the AI clearly doesn't have the wherewithal to think about. Although I still am convinced that some of these guys are going long on these hards to take it to the rain, which would be a smart thing to do. We'll see if it continues. But it just means they have to be so conservative. Well, I think just using soft, medium and pushing would be slightly better if you've got the speed to do it. I mean, we've obviously clearly got the speed. If your car doesn't have the speed to make the tyres work as effectively, then maybe just sticking hards and going long is not a bad call, to be fair. But let's have a look at the gap from Norris to Sainz. 6 seconds. And we're on a softer compound tyre. That are fresher. We're in a quicker car. That should be mincemeat. Mincemeat we should make of him. Right, now that's a back marker that we've just danced past, and now we're 2.4 seconds behind Ricciardo, who's battling with Ocon, who's just slipped out of the DRS of Perez, so that makes it a little bit easier. And only one of those two cars has got DRS now, so we'll see what happens. Unless any of them want to start to pit, that would make our life a little bit easier. 1.7 seconds is the gap, coming down of course all the time. So just a handful of cars, including Verstappen, pitting so far. Such varied strategies here today. Right, so we're going to have to orchestrate something here. Orchestrate a manoeuvre. Okay. So the manoeuvre that I'm going to orchestrate starts from about here.
And we'll push.
And it's going to involve using full overtake mode rather than... Oh, we've got something going in the pits. But he's going to get the DRS from being behind him. But even with the DRS, we've got the DRS too, but we've got the ERS on top, which means that even so, we still manage to pull away. And we're going to go full-blown attack now. Full-blown attack. We've got Perez up the road, who's next in line. We want to pull away from Ricciardo here. Just trying to get that gap down, stretch that gap to a second. And we are just about getting there with it. Just about there. As we now have Perez in our sights. Perez, of course, yet to stop on the hard compound tyre. Might well be going to the rain on that one. We're on hard compounds as well, but we're in a faster car, and they are much less worn, so this should be another done deal. Even though they were having to use neutral, we should still pretty much breeze past here. If not before his corner, definitely down the next straight, I would like to suggest. Here we go. Full power, full power, full power. Here we go. And we make it stick.
Such an awesome job, mate.
And foot down, pedal to the metal. And we've got Perez. And we're off and up into P3. Now, despite the fact that we had to put a new wing on, had a time penalty, we're only 5.6 seconds behind Norris. How? I mean, of course, Hamilton's been pushing his tyres, pushing his engine a little bit. Norris has that available as well, and we will use it with Norris a little bit because it's only fair to use it. We'll be using it anyway to get past Carlos Sainz in a second. But he's got obviously ERS to use as well, so that 6 seconds probably will start to look a bit more healthy. Mind you, Norris is on fresher mediums, so has probably better pace than Hamilton at this stage in the race as well. So although Hamilton has closed that gap down, this gap will probably increase if we keep them in the same engine modes and the same tyre pushing modes. Because don't forget, Norris was looking pretty racy this race weekend. Had some good race pace. Look at this. Sitting duck springs to mind here. Absolute sitting duck. And to just hammer home the advantage, we will do a bit of pushing whilst we're in the twisty section of the track.
This is really good.
Not that we really need to, because he's on much more used tyres, but we will anyway to stamp our authority. As he tries to use DRS to get back up the inside of us? I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. There's no stopping us here. Don't be foolish. So Norris is in P1, Sainz is in P2, yet to stop. Hamilton has made his way back up to P3, despite the calamity of driving into his teammate, which could have ended so much worse. It could have ended with both of our cars being retired, but thankfully only Hamilton got injured or damaged. No damage to Norris, because that would have been tough, because we'd have had to stack him as well, as Norris sets the fastest lap of the race so far.
Just be careful with this tyre.
And there we have it. So, bit of breathing room. So yeah, Norris is in first. Sainz is doing a good job in second on those hard tyres. Hamilton in third. Perez is in fourth. Ricciardo's in fifth. Russell is in sixth. Alonso is in seventh, coming out of P3. We'll see how that fares. Still got this little gaggle of cars. And where's Max Verstappen? What tyres has he put on? He's put on a set of hards. Not good strategy, I'd like to suggest. Not good strategy at all. But he's up to P14. I mean, Leclerc isn't exactly setting the world alight either, is he? Let's be honest. Right, we're going to two-speed this now. Rain's coming soon, apparently, round about lap 50. So we'll keep an eye on that. But for now, both of our cars are in clear air. Thankfully, won't drive into each other. So if you're going to make a mistake, you're just taking yourself out at this point, which is still bad. But has he done it again? What's he done now?
Oh, they've run wide.
What have you done now?
Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one. They're forced wide, and there we can see.
The seven-time world champion is having a race to forget here, isn't he? Having a race to forget. Running wide, smashing into your teammate. Anything else you want to do for a laugh? Anything else you fancy doing? You know, take your rear wing off, perhaps? No? Right, keep it on the grey stuff, yeah? Just a tip for you. Not that I need to tell you anything. You're quite capable of driving. We've seen that over the years. Yeah, he's not bad at driving, is he? But still, keep it on the grey stuff. Norris is doing very well. I just realised I probably shouldn't have said that. Because he's going to spin off now, isn't he? As much as I'm not a big fan of water, just taste of nothing to me, that bland. There is actually nothing more refreshing when you're thirsty and dry mouthed and it's warm than water, to be honest. Quenches your thirst, I suppose, doesn't it? Anyway, Hamilton is actually gaining on science, as we would expect. I have to open my window, it's far too hot in here now. Which means if bugs fly in, expect me to panic and wave my arms around and leave my seat. Because a wasp flew in here yesterday, 2 days ago. I did very well though. So Perez, so yeah, definitely the hard compound runners that haven't stopped yet are definitely taking it to the wet weather, which, you know, as I said, is definitely a viable strategy. So within a couple more laps, Hamilton should be within the DRS range of Perez. No? Sainz. Apologies. Of course, it is race weekend today. Well, it's race day today. It's been the race weekend this weekend. It's Canada. And because I'm streaming later, you know, such is my dedication to the cause, I can't watch the race. I'm actually playing football as well, so I'm going to miss the race anyway. So I'm going to miss the start of it because I'm playing football, and I'm going to miss most of the rest of it because I'm streaming, so, you know, it is what it is. Although I would actually quite like to watch this. I like the circuit. The Mercedes are looking decent. Max will just drive off into the distance, but between like Alonso, Russell and Hamilton behind him, I think it's going to be quite a good race, to be honest. But anyway, we just watched Hamilton get his way past Carlos Sainz. Going to now start pushing again on the modes to get that gap up.
His fastest lap.
Fastest lap for Hamilton. He is the man on the move. This is the section where we need to break the second. But not quite. So Sainz will get DRS down this straight. Just gets it. But he's more than a second now. But he gets it up this hill. And that will close the gap down. And he'll get it again down this straight. So although we're pushing, we can probably push harder. We'll get it by the time we come round to the pit straight again though. We'll definitely get it now. Yeah, there we go. And we're free. Free as a bird.
Rain is imminent.
Okay. Okay, folks. Rain is imminent. As we are 12 seconds behind Norris. So you can see we were at 1.5 seconds, it's gone up to 12. As I said, Norris has got clearly the quicker tyres on, and so although it looks like it's close, he will pull away, and he's pulled out 7 seconds on his teammate as we've tried to get our way and got our way back past Sainz. So yeah, that incident, shall we say, that lapse in concentration really costing Hamilton the victory. Doesn't appear to have cost him second place, clearly. But race victory, on the other hand, definitely looking unlikely. So this is how the grid is. This is how the positions are. You can see them there. Alonso now in a train with the two Mercedes cars, Gasly and Vettel having a bit of a ding-dong. Mick Schumacher's there, Ocon, Verstappen, Albon and Leclerc all in a line. That's a rather large train of cars, which we're not concerned with right now, because right now we're concerned with our cars. So bunts it up to 2-speed here as we're kind of in clear air here. Now we're just waiting for the rain to fall and we can just bring our cars in on the same lap, because we've got, of course, a nice little gap to play with. And again, we can be conservative with our strategy. We don't have to go on to the inters too early. We can wait a little bit. Don't want to clearly go on to them too late either, but we don't have to be like taking any unnecessary risks. Still a little bit of time left before the rain decides to descend upon us.
See some light rain.
Okay, so we've got some light rain coming. Light rain is now beginning to fall, so let's now just take our time and decide when we are going to come in. I think when it's above 1.5. Is it that we have to issue? I think it is into weather, into tyre weather. I don't think it's going to be heavy enough for wets. That's what I was trying to spit out, but I couldn't get my words out. Well, we're going to play it conservative, so the track is damp enough for inters now. So we're going to stick them on with both cars.
Box, 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 box. In a box is that? Confirm, landing filling. Okay, understood.
Alright, so that will put us both onto the same tyre with the same level of wear. So Hamilton just has to make up 15 seconds to win the race in 21 laps on a teammate that's quite comparative in terms of speed to him. Not going to happen, is it? But the 1-2 still on the cards as Hamilton comes in for his set of inters. Second stop of the race. Loads of people coming into the pits now, including Carlos Sainz, who did hang it out on those hard tyres until the rain arrived. Not a bad strategy, and in fact it's got him up to third position. Although, what tyre are you on? Perez is still on hards and hasn't pitted. This is a mistake, as I'm sure we'll soon find out, as Sainz will probably dance past him. So Perez hanging out for a long time. Alonso, don't forget, he came in, and so this is his second stop, but that's not worked out too badly for him. He came from a battle for third and fourth into the pits the first time. He's up into fifth. Will overtake Perez because Perez is struggling in the wet weather on those dry tyres. So Alonso will be up to P4. So it hasn't harmed him doing an extra stop. So, you know, hard for a long time, then coming in or doing a stop with you know, earlier, seems to be quite similar. Although if Perez had come in for his tyres and not stayed out on the hards, I think he'd have been in better shape and ahead of Alonso, actually, to be fair. So maybe the one stop was perhaps slightly quicker for cars that are comparative in speed. But anyway, Perez must be coming in now. Must be. A lap too late if you ask me, but there's Alonso. Is Perez the last person? No. We've got Guan Yu Zhou out as well. Yeah, this. Where's he going to come out now after this calamity?
Perez in the pit lane.
I don't know why they've told us that. It's not our race. He's coming out in P6, P7. Oh, Hamilton's off again. Oh no. Third time in this race that Hamilton has left the circuit, and he seems to be beached. He's damaged his floor.
Now just take a look at the McLaren.
He's
They're
damaged.
forced wide, and they won't be happy at all about that.
Minor floor damage. We're not pitting for that. Hamilton now down in third position due to his,
And Ferrari just gained a place.
third blunder of this race. A race weekend to forget, I think. Well, a race to forget. Qualifying went fine. Practice went fine. Just the race has come and he's just completely lost the plot. What are you doing, man? I should probably just 16 speed this race and get it over with before something else happens. We've got to pass Sainz now on the track. 3 seconds. With a damaged floor. Don't know how much speed that damaged floor is losing us, but doesn't appear to be too much time at the minute. I think. We're still quicker than the Ferrari, and we've still got a fair few laps to close him down. And there's no DRS, don't forget, in the wet to assist us here. So we'll have to utilise our other toys. But maybe Hamilton's going off the track on purpose just to demonstrate, you know, I'll go off 3 times and still finish second. Why not? Just to rub people's faces in it. How quick our car seems to be right now. Alright, so we're on lap 50. Well, I think our race leader has just started lap 55, Lando Norris. We are on lap 54 at this moment in time, and 1.2 seconds behind Carlos Sainz as we now hunt him down, and we're going to have to try to pass him.
Okay, copy. Stand by.
For P2. Easier said than done, perhaps, without the aid of DRS in the wet weather and a damaged underfloor, but hey, we shall certainly give it a good go. It's not going to be happening this lap, a bit too far back, but in the next one we'll start to give it the beans. I'm thinking a couple of laps of harvest first might also be beneficial, so that we've got more power to use on the actual overtake itself. But we'll see. We'll try it first without. Got 20 minutes. We should be done by then. Okay, so let's push the tyres, push the fuel. We're now 4 tenths behind. Put the deployment down. Go, 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 go. Look at that. Definitely more tricky, isn't it? Definitely more tricky without the use of DRS. Especially in a car that doesn't have the best top speed. Let's not forget. We are kind of middle of the pack. Ooh. But we got there in the end.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Understood.
And think about increasing the lifting coast just a little.
Right, well that's got us past Sainz and we have the pace, so we should be fine now to pull away and hopefully finish in second with no further dramas, if you don't mind. Oh, incident at Sector 2. Is it Hamilton?
I think there's been a lock-up.
Oh, it's Vettel. Oh, somebody else for a change. Okay, let's have a look at elsewhere. Alonso, sterling job up to P4. Has got Russell on the back of him. It'll be interesting to see if Russell can make a pass here without DRS. A bit more tricky, but I don't know whether Russell is the quicker car. Has he caught Alonso? Yeah, I don't think he's quick enough to pass. Verstappen up to P8. Just ride on board with Russell for these next few straights and see if he's not close enough. Nah, nowhere near. Oh, is it a bit closer? Nah, not happening. Right, so yeah, Verstappen is up to P8 after his little journey into the sand, which is a fair enough position finish after the drama there. Got bogged down in a DRS tray, which didn't help him, I suppose, but Perez in P7. Not had the greatest of weekends, to be fair to him, has he? The Mercedes are performing admirably, you know, in comparison to their usual finishing positions. Quite a solid performance. Not, of course, their usual standards that they've been used to over the past few years, but compared to what they have been doing over the past couple of seasons, in some races, 5th and 6th isn't the most hideous. Although they would be disappointed to be finishing behind Alonso, I would imagine. But Alonso is pulling it out of the fire here and has done a damn good job. Strategy was pretty decent too, so he's clearly benefiting from that. As we have 10 laps to go, Norris 27.6 seconds ahead of Hamilton. They're both on the same push order, same tyre, same ERS. Let's see what that time does. It looks like Hamilton might be a little bit quicker, but certainly, obviously, not quick enough to make 27 seconds up in 9 laps. It's a bit too much of an ask, that, isn't it? It's just ever so slightly. But this man has been peerless, hasn't he? He's been peerless today. From the very first couple of corners, up the middle of 2 cars off the grid, took them both, no fear, no mercy, slingshotted down the straight, past Verstappen, up to 2nd position, 3 cars overtaken in the first couple of laps, and he's never looked back. He gained on his teammate. He was outside of DRS range when he got into 2nd. He got into DRS range and had a ding-dong battle with Hamilton for a few laps, swapping positions with DRS, and then you might argue maybe put the pressure on Hamilton a little bit, because Hamilton made a mistake and took them both off. Thankfully Norris wasn't injured, his car wasn't damaged rather, Hamilton's was, and ever since then Norris got back on the track, refocused, recomposed, and stuck to the strategy as planned before the race, and has literally driven from the front ever since. Right as I'm bigging him up, it happens. Next race, I'm not commenting about anything to do with my cars. In fact, I'm not even going to watch them in the next race. I'm going to watch other cars and just let my drivers do their stuff and just leave me out of it. Because, my God, constant. That's 4 mistakes. 3 to Hamilton, 1 to Norris in this race weekend. What is going on? Now, some people might say, oh, it could be a brake cooling, causing the tyres to lock up. It might be. It might be. We have increased our brake cooling, not to the extent where it's decent enough to be considered good. It's bang average at best, but that's better than poor as it was at the start of the season. And of course, that puts the gap down to a mere 24.9 seconds. Had Norris have gone further into the gravel, that could have been rather interesting. But he hasn't, so that's fine. So Sainz is in third, final podium spot. Alonso's still there. Verstappen not making too much of an inroad on his teammate, who is behind Ricciardo. Again, he won't be able to pass Ricciardo, I don't think. Russell is not going to be on the back of Alonso anytime soon. Mick Schumacher in the Williams doing quite well, 13th position. Not a points position, but for a Williams, that's not bad. You know, ahead of an Alpha Tauri, ahead of both the Haases, ahead of an Alfa Romeo. Not doing too shabbily at all. Right, so we've got 4 laps to go, including this one that we're on, and Norris just has to. Just has to bring it home in one piece. Don't you, Norris? That's right, just don't make any mistakes now. Hamilton P2, 24.7 seconds. Sainz in third, 8.4 seconds. Is this gap moving at all? 8.4, 8.5? Should be. Probably extending this gap, surely. 8.5, 8.5. Staying quite constant. So, Sainz lapping quite a similar time to Hamilton. If you look at the last laps, yeah. Which is quite interesting, isn't it? That in the wet weather, unless it's like really, really pushing hard, we've got comparative times. 1:19.0 there. So 4 tenths quicker that time. Maybe something to do with back markers, I don't know. But yeah, the Ferrari's looking pretty decent in the damp conditions. So we'll ride with Norris on 1 speed for the final lap of this race. He's had a good one. He's maintained his composure. He's maintained his calmness. Whilst his teammate has been sliding around the track and taking beach vacations, Norris has kept his focus, done what he needed to do, and he crosses the line to start his 71st and final lap here at the Red Bull Ring. Will it give him a championship boost? Well, considering that Hamilton has got the fastest lap of the race and therefore he will score 19 points as things stand, it's only a 6-point gain. So it's not exactly groundbreaking a result, but as I said earlier, all you can do is make sure you win. What your teammate does after that is outside of your control. All you can control is what you can control. And I can control crossing the line in first place, says Lando Norris, and indeed you can. Do that another 3 or 4 times on the spin, and I'm sure Hamilton will start to probably feel the heat. But right now, I'm sure this is just a fly in the ointment, a blip, a blot on the copybook, not to be repeated, one might hope. But there you go, Lando Norris crosses the line, race victory. Well earned indeed. And Lewis Hamilton bringing his McLaren with a scraped and dented underfloor, a damaged wing. It cost us at least 250, 300 grand to get those replaced for the next race, costing us money. But he crosses the line in P2. He's got Sainz crossing the line very shortly in P3. Here he comes, and a very good 4th position finish for Fernando Alonso in the Alpine. Well done to the top 4. Okay, so there you go. Lando Norris wins, Hamilton second, Sainz Alonso. So then in the rest of the top 10, we've got Russell in 5th with Ricciardo in 6th, Perez finishing in 7th, and Max Verstappen in 8th. Bad day in the office there. Gasly in 9th, making up 5 positions, and Alexander Albon in the AlphaTauri finishing in the last points-paying position, P10. Fastest lap of the race, Lewis Hamilton, a 106.6. Not bad at all. So for the Drivers' Championship, it looks a little like this. 6-point swing to Norris, but that means that he's now only a mere 51 points behind Hamilton in the championship race. For Norris to win this, Hamilton needs to have a non-point scoring or a really badly low points scoring race. Norris to overhaul that with Hamilton not having a bad one, it's going to be very, very difficult indeed, but not impossible. And there's the rest of the teams or drivers rather, in those spots. Leclerc having an absolute nightmare, but still within touching distance of 3rd position. Constructors wise, we know McLaren are far, far, far ahead now, and it would be a miracle if they don't win the constructors. Red Bull currently in 2nd. It's between them and Ferrari, the race for 2nd place, which is actually quite interesting and will be fun to continue to see how they fare. Mercedes in 4th, clear 4th, in a little bit of no man's land, if you will, and the battle for 5th is pretty tight. Alpine, Alonso getting some very valuable points for Alpine in their sort of race for 5th position. Okay, so we've made a little bit of profit on race weekend, which is always nice, and we have manufactured some spare side pods. We shall need to manufacture some other stuff too. Right, what have we got here? Side pods. Okay, so the red, the points allocation changing and taking away the fastest lap bonus point has gone through. So next season, were we to race it, would see 1st to 8th getting points and no more bonus fastest lap point. An overwhelming vote for the changes. Interesting. F1 School's invitation. Of course. Spread the good word to the kids. Suspension has been changed. Oh, look at that. Front wing project has finished. That's manufacturing, not design. Okay, so the French Grand Prix is in 10 days. We have got certain parts, developmental parts coming between now and then. New side pods. We've got an underfloor to construct because we've damaged one. We've got a wing to construct because we damaged one. So a little bit of off-camera work to the cars required. But other than that, oh, new suspension has finished. Has it? Yes, it has. Look at that. So yeah, a little bit of tinkering to do with the cars. The upgrades continue to come quick and fast. Thick and fast is the saying, sorry. Which is probably bad news for the other teams. They're looking at us and thinking, what the hell are they doing? Do they have machines working on their cars to be so efficient with their development? Well, we've just got a highly drilled and oiled machine. Yes, we do. Human machines, but nonetheless, we don't let them sleep. We only let them out of their cages occasionally. Yes, we'll drive a hard bargain. Right, anyway, I'm going to go now. I've got things to do, but a successful race. A few little spots of action, mainly of Hamilton's doing. Perhaps he was wanted to spice things up for us, and good job, sir. But this race, if you could keep it on the track, we'd be certainly much appreciative. Until next time, folks, where we head to the Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix, it's bye for now.